When we examine the foot, it's actually interesting that we actually have 4 arches on the foot. One arch that most of us are familiar with is the arch on the medial surface. This is the primary weight-bearing or loading arch of the foot. So load comes through the tibia. Go to the lateral surface, right, or the outside of the foot, and we have what's called the lateral longitudinal arch. So this was the medial longitudinal arch. This is the lateral longitudinal arch. This one has got more to do with balance and movement because it's got the fibula, which does move as the foot goes into dorsiflexion and plantarflexion. Now if we take the foot this way and we kind of look at the underside, there's actually 2 arches. There's a small arch that we don't really talk about running through here. It's called the proximal transverse arch, but the more important one is out here that we talk about the distal transverse arch. And basically, it's where we actually load, because if you think about where we load on the foot, we generally load on the first metatarsal head, the 4th, 5th, and the calcaneus. And so we should be distributing load through there. Sometimes what happens is we have a muscle under the foot here called the adductor hallucis that connects from the big toe, if you want to, and it kind of spans across and it connects all these other remaining toes. And if it gets weak, what it does, it causes a collapse of the 2nd and 3rd metatarsal heads, and that kind of removes that arch. And that arch is very important because if you look at something from here, as I create that arch, so I push this thing, you notice what it does to the medial arch. It actually helps support the medial arch. If I take this arch away, the foot kind of flattens. So they're kind of related, that when you look at the distal transverse arch, when you've got a nice healthy arch, it helps preserve the medial longitudinal arch. If you've got a weak adductor hallucis muscle and causing this thing to collapse, what could happen as a consequence of that is that this arch could also start to collapse.